This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's start at the beginning here. We start to see promo packages for your appearance on WWE TV. And this was sort of an old school Bruce Pritchard way of introducing a new character, a series of vignettes. And the announcer would say, Kurt Angle, the only celebrated real athlete in the history of the WWF. And I think when you were on with Steve Austin on his Broken Skull sessions on the WWE Network, you thought maybe those were a little cheesy, but ultimately Vince got his way. What do you remember about those vignettes?
Well, Vince, he came to me and said, listen, we're going to do vignettes to start you out. They're going to be a bit corny. You're going to be Olympic gold medalist, milk drinker, don't swear, don't do drugs, talk about the three I's, preach to the people. And he said that at this particular time in the Attitude Era, the bad guys were the good guys and the good guys are the bad guys. So he said, if we keep you clean as a whistle, people are going to hate your guts. And I was like, how is that possible? I mean, if I'm doing all the right things in life, he said, well, people get envious. And and not only that, he wanted people to say, this guy, he makes sense, but I don't really trust him. I don't know what this guy's all about. So there's something about him that's weird. And, the thing is, I preached about, winning gold medals and championships, and then I would turn around and cheat to win. So it was, right. I understood the equation that Vince was trying to do.
It is sort of an old storytelling way that really probably developed a lot in the 70s and 80s, where, you would have these movies where you're sort of pulling for the underdog, and they hate the star quarterback who has the hot girlfriend and the prom queen and all that. And so you were sort of the epitome of that. And let's also remember, when you don't swear and you're a milk drinker, and then you've got the top character in the business at the time flipping people off and,
drinking beer.
Yeah. It's a totally
beating up his boss.
Yeah. Way different presentation.
Yeah.
You use the move we now know as the angle slam, but the announcers didn't even know what to call it here, and they referred to it as a reverse fireman's carry. When do you remember there being discussion about what we're going to call this and how all that came to be?
Oh, right after that. The announcers came to me and said, what are you going to call it? And I said, I don't know. I came up with the move in practice one day and just thought, I could call it the angle slam. They said, well, what about the Olympic slam? Because you're an Olympic gold medalist. I said, that's even better.
Yeah.
So we started using that, but the Olympic committee contacted the WWE and said, you can't use the word Olympic for a wrestling move or a finish move. So we had to take the Olympic slam off the table and call it the angle slam. So it got named the angle slam briefly after that. Crazy thing is, when the Olympic committee warned us, the next week, Michael Cole wanted to piss off the Olympic committee. So he kept calling it the Olympic slam all through my match. He was saying, Angle's going to hit the Olympic slam eventually. And he just kept repeating it like 10 times just to piss them off. I'm not sure how Vince reacted to it, but it was pretty funny.
On SmackDown later that week, we see the beginning of your very first feud of sorts. That week you team with Steve Blackman, and you say it's a bit of an insult to pair an Olympic gold medalist with a black belt, but you're willing to give him a chance. And that's what's great about you. The willingness to help the lesser folks have a chance. Blackman comes out. He's not happy. I guess that's really nothing new. You offer to shake his hand, but he refuses. You wind up winning the match and celebrating, and he's looking at you almost like, what the hell are you doing? I love the oversell of the celebration. Is that Vince's directive, or is this just something you're trying?
No, Vince wanted me to celebrate like I won the Olympic gold medal. He said, I want you to do exactly what you did in the Olympics. I want you to drop to your knees, raise your hands in the air, and start crying. Celebrate it like you just won the Olympics. Every time you win, I want you to do that. So I was doing it, and it was creating a lot of heat.
Unfortunately, on the December 9th episode of SmackDown, you and Blackman are defeated by the Dudley Boys. This is technically your first on-screen defeat, but you don't take the pin. Blackman does. And that sets up your second pay-per-view match. It's you versus Blackman at Armageddon 99. That one went down on December 12th in Fort Lauderdale. Again, another sellout. You're in the second match on the show that night, and Meltzer would write, Angle came out to no reaction. He even missed a moonsault. Technically, this was a good match, but the crowd chanted boring. Whether it was because they were encouraged by Angle's gimmick or they didn't want to see the match was apparent. Angle won with a German suplex, and after the match, Blackman attacked Angle with nunchucks, and for some reason, Blackman got a big pop for that, 3/4 of a star. Were you wondering at this time, hey man, do I really want to encourage the fans to chant boring? Were you taking that personally, or did you think, oh man, they're just doing their role in the show here?
I just knew they were doing their role in the show, and whether they accepted me or not, if they were rejecting me, I really didn't know because I was so new to the business. I was just doing what I was told, and every week I would focus on what I had to do and what I had to accomplish. And I wasn't worried about the reaction of the fans. I knew in time, eventually, I would get real serious heat, or I would get over as a babyface eventually. But I knew it would take some time. The fans had to get to know me. They knew I won a gold medal in the Olympics, but they didn't know me in the pro wrestling world. So it took a few months for fans to start accepting me. And at this point in time, they weren't accepting me.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.